Yo, what up? It's Russell Simmons. You're watching hiphopblog.com.
Hiphopblog.com caught up with entrepreneur and fashion mogul Russell Simmons as he showcases his newest designs for his menswear label, Argyleculture at Macy's.
My experience that we started years ago with Fat Farm, and then there was so many young men's companies. And if you look at some Macy's and some stores, there's this men's department and the young men's department. And all the urban, quote-unquote, urban brands were young men's. And then if somebody like President Obama grew up on Fat Farm, then what would he do next? He'd only have Ralph or other decisions, but never had anything that spoke to culture that he grew up with. And Adam Sandler, I always laugh at him because he still wears Fat Farm. I'm not knocking it, I'm just saying. You know, you grow up, right? So a lot of urban graduates need a voice. And that was the reason that I designed this line. It's more honest as a description. I stopped designing Fat Farm 9 years ago. And I sold it 7 years ago, and I worked there for a couple of years until I was able to hand it over to the new owners. But the design for Argyleculture was a more honest expression. And I'll never do nothing well unless I really love what I'm doing. So I really love doing this. I like the designs here that's represented here. And I hope you guys like it.
Fans got the opportunity to meet Russell in person as he took pictures and signed autographs. HipHopBlog.com sat down with Mr. Simmons and talked about his new launch.
You know, when I sold Fat Farm, it was 7 years ago. And I stopped designing really for Fat Farm about 9 years ago. So your heart has to be in what you design. And so I started playing around with the idea of Argyleculture. And, you know, now it's a serious launch, obviously. But the urban graduate, you know, it's like we grew up on a certain thing. If President Obama grew up on Fat Farm, like, look at you wear now, Ralph, right? Can everybody have to wear Ralph? Is there something that speaks this culture that, you know, that's the idea, to kind of give us a cultural space, you know, of our own, like in the men's department. A lot of places in Macy's, you have the men's department and the young men's department. They may even be on different floors, like in New York. So when you're on a different floor and you're in the young men's department, you go upstairs and there's nobody of color and culture. Not that, you know, and that's important because from a cultural standpoint, people who grew up with hip hop, they don't have no voice. And so that's what we're trying to do now. After the billions of dollars that were made in the young men's, they say maybe somebody, and not only one person, but hopefully open the doors so that the urban graduates have some voices. Yeah, of course, college kids that want to, you know, not scared their boss or scare their teacher, or, you know what I mean, scare the girls away. They may want something a little slicker and fit a little better. But also, you might, you know, it might be just time. You know, never mind your outward. It might be your own self-image that wants to improve by being a little bit more clean-cut, you know, accessible. It says everything, you know. I mean, you know, sometimes you wear subtle stuff, and you can make big statements because you wear subtle stuff, and that's, you know, that's always a calmness that's important. And I think it just says a lot, you know. People, if it's over the top, then you know, there's something over the top about them, or some need for attention. If something subtle and cool, it might be that they just subtle and cool. You know, and we really want, you know, that's what we want to speak to, the subtle, cool young man who wants to, or man who wants to, you know, move around without threatening the world, without, you know, but cool. You know, he wants to be, you know, I think in good taste. And I don't know, you know, this is my opinion of good taste, of course, but it certainly is one that allows you freedom, you know, then lock you up, or you don't get locked up. A lot of the philanthropic and social and political things that matter to me are expressed on my TV show, which launched, you know, it launched this week. And it had good ratings, so that's good. And, you know, first thing we did was raise all that money for Sierra Leone. I noticed the cameras make people jump ever since I produced my brother's show and my wife's first show and my daughter's, nieces rather. I watch what that is. And I was talking earlier about Kim Kardashian, how she had as many Twitter followers as the president. That's her show, you know, and her influence. You know, I told them earlier also that when she went to Africa, how much it mattered to my school. So, you know, to gain a bigger footprint, you know, that's a big project, and to be able to do more philanthropic, more. We have a program about the crisis in our community, and that's a big deal for us to really make that happen, to get the peacekeepers. Which we're doing with Captain Dennis, to spread. Stay on your hustle, don't quit, and stay on your hustle and don't quit. Yeah, it says that's 3. Stay on your hustle, don't quit, and don't quit, stay on your hustle. You know, if you can't fail till you quit.